Hello gardening friends, it is time for our May garden tour. Some of the highlights of the tour are going to be the black coat beans, the onions and garlic, and also up here are my plants that I have started with the winter sowing method that are ready to get planted into the garden as soon as I can get around to it. Alright, let's get down to the garden and see what's growing. Okay, here we are at the lower side of the garden. Here I have some garlic planted, some carrots. I've got, this is called Essex rape that is all through the garden because I threw seeds everywhere. Pretty good. So here is a fig tree that's looking nice and healthy. It's got some breba on there, a couple brebas on there. Brebas are the figs that grow on last year's growth, and then main crop grows on the growth from this year. Planted some blueberry bushes here. Got like 6 of them. They're doing okay. They're pretty tiny little sticks when they started. This one here looks like it's not gonna make it. But one of the bags had 2 of them in it, so I'll just move one of those down here. This one's looking nice and healthy. That one's looking good too. Here are some Jerusalem artichokes that are clump of them here that I didn't harvest the roots, so there's a bunch of them in there. I can start thinning those out and feed them to the rabbits. Here's one thing that I am excited about, which is the black coat beans. This one actually volunteered up, and I planted some other ones around this trellis. So this is where they were last year. I think they're gonna do great this year because they're getting a nice early start. Do have some sugar peas. Thank you, Cheryl Mann, for sending me some seeds for those. They're growing up here on this trellis. Also have some tromboncino squash over here that I planted fairly early. Looks like they're doing pretty well. Over here I have some potatoes growing. Potatoes there. There's potatoes all through this area. And I also have watermelons sprouting to go up on this trellis that I got here. Those are watermelons that I think those are the seeds from my volunteer watermelon from last year. Here's some onion starts that I started these seeds using the winter sowing method. I'll go ahead and put a card up to that video because that was pretty good on how I started my onion seeds. I think you guys would enjoy that. But yeah, these onions, they were just little tiny thin things, and I stuck them in the ground, and it looks like they're starting to take off. Got some mulch here from the bunnies, just put that down yesterday. So it's got a lot of bunny poop and bunny hairs, all kinds of good stuff in there for the soil. All right, look at my pomegranate bush back here. Back in there. I should be getting some blooms and some fruit off of that anytime here soon. Any year now, right? So, looking forward to that. Here's a blackberry bush in here. Starting to get blackberries on it. It's really hiding behind my peach tree here. So it's not really doing that well. Another highlight I should have said is we have strawberries. Look at this. Yummy, yummy. That one needs eaten, but I might let my grandson come out and get it because he does enjoy the strawberries. There's some more. I got a little patch here. Looks like it should be, looks like a lot of strawberries are going to be coming up through there. Here's my kiwi vine. It's planted and going up this trellis. Looks like it's done very well. It got frosted from one of our late frosts, but it has recovered really well. Let's go around here. See what the square foot garden onions and garlic are looking like. Okay, here's the garlic. planted 9. There's 9 of them growing in there. They're doing awesome. Here's the square foot garden onions that I've been using. Been pulling them out and using them. They're doing well. My spinach is doing really well in the square foot garden. It's going to seed. That is good. I planted some sugar peas at the edge of my square foot garden too, so they're going up this trellis over here. Wow, I got a lot of stuff in here that's really going wild. Need to get in here and mow this stuff down. Here's a beet plant that's going to seed. Take a little bite of that too, pretty good. Here's my raspberry patch. Starting to get some raspberries on there. What else we got? This is kale that's going to seed. It's grown really large. There's asparagus that is going to seed already, or not really going to seed. This is what it does after it's done producing. It sets up little stalks like this that are going to be gathering and storing energy for the next time it sends the sprouts up, which I do get a fall crop out of this. All right, this is comfrey. Don't eat this, it's very dangerous. But it doesn't have much taste. The reason herbalists will tell you not to eat comfrey is because vegans found out that it has, I think, like 12% protein. So they were like, comfrey is the answer to our protein needs. And they were eating pounds of this stuff a day. So it has some kind of a trace toxin in it that messed up their livers or something like that. So the FDA or whoever has said that nobody should eat it ever because it's super bad for you. But so use it at your own risk, I guess I would say. Here's my elderberries. I transplanted these babies from where they were growing on the other side of the house simply because we didn't want them over on the other side of the house. And so I think they're starting to recover. They were not happy about being moved right in the beginning of the growing season. I've got a lot of peppermint growing through the garden. Peppermint is really an awesome plant. And I don't mind it growing through the garden because I can always pull it up and throw it down for some living mulch, living compost. Here's some more blackberries over here. Looks like these blooms got frosted, but we got more blackberries coming there, which is awesome. They'll be ripe before we know it. Down here, I've got some cilantro, which I've been using. And I also planted some more cilantro seeds down here. Show you a little tiny sprout. That's what they look like when they're just starting to get going. Little tiny sprouts. They are little small things. There's 2 more little sprouts. This is some turnip greens. I got some red Russian kale here. Here are onions. These are more onions that I planted from sets. And then I have some more onions that I planted from the ones I showed you earlier, from the seed ones. Some more that are little tiny, little, not even as big as a pencil yet. So those are in the middle. And then I also have garlic here. There's garlic, and I got a row of garlic up here. Another thing I'm excited about is my persimmon tree. Persimmon tree is putting out a boatload of persimmons this year. Look at that, about to flower. That's where the persimmon's gonna form. So there's one there, one there, one there, one there. So there's 4 persimmons right in that one spot. And the tree has persimmons starting to flower and starting to grow all over it. So that's really awesome. Here is my dead apple tree. I made a video on why it died. I will put a card to that up here too. Actually, I think that is one of the best videos that I've done yet. Here are my winter sowed plants. I've already planted some in the garden. This is a ponderosa tomato. I got the seeds from Ray at Praxis. There's a whole pack of onions I planted in there. I planted a bunch of those in the garden already, and they're growing, ready to plant, divide out some more. Here's I think this is a jalapeno plant that I overwintered. It's starting to bud out again. There's jalapenos that I planted winter sowing. Let's see, what are these? These are mountain merit that I got from Seeds and Such. These are not labeled, but I think that might be a cherry tomato. There's an aloe vera that I got at the store that got sunburned. I'm starting to recover from that. There are some basil. Oh, and here's some Egyptian spinach that I just planted like a week ago in here. You can see they're coming up really well. Over here I have some that haven't come up. I just planted these poblanos and cayenne peppers that didn't come up. These are marigolds that I just planted not that long ago. You can see from my winter sowing, I like to get them bottom watered. I bought this like a boot tray at the store, and I just put the water in there, because when you open them up, you really need to pay attention to the water to make sure they don't dry out. And if you bottom water them, it gets them nice and watered completely. And over there, that was a case I got from a tool. I think that was a Bosch tool I got. That was the lid of it, and here was the bottom part of it, which made a nice watering tray. Over here, I'll put a link that Google says that you will like. One thing that you can do that really helps my channel is to like this video. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like. All right, have a blessed day. See you all again real soon.